July 8th, and this is a little tour of the part shade, part sun garden. We've got bleeding heart, blue drinking gourd hosta, fragrant bouquet hosta, that's a Trevi fountain lungwort, some Virginia. Those stilby are super yellow in the leaves because they get too much sun. You can kind of see back there where the leaves are in the shade of the tree that they're dark green like they're supposed to be, so I'm going to have to move those this year. And I also have to give them a ton of water to keep them alive, so they have to move. I've got a little bunch of hardy geranium, some forever purple heuchera, and a Haconocloa grass. And then I have some annuals. There's some Browalia and some Lobelia. Those are autumn frost hosta. They also get quite a bit of sun. You can see the leaves get a little bit burned, but they are the most sun tolerant hosta of any of mine. I love those. And I have some caladiums coming up right along the edge of the Haconocloa there. Those are a couple heucherellas, or 3 heucherella. They're sweet tea. And then that blue hosta was on clearance. I'm not sure the variety because it wasn't labeled. I think it might be, well, I don't even know. I have no clue. And there's a blue angel hosta back there that's kind of taking over that spot. That one has to move. Those are 3 viburnum. And then a strawberry daiquiri dogwood shrub there. We've got imperial blue verbena, another plane going over. And then the little seedlings, I think, are Perennials that I had planted there last year that are seeding themselves, so I'm just going to let them grow, see what they do. That's a mum. That's not supposed to be hardy here, but it's come back every year for 3 years, although it's looking a little bit small this year, so we'll see. Got some echinacea. I'm not sure the white ones, what variety they are. They were clearance, mislabeled as pink. So, and some Joylene Nicole daylilies. Those are really fragrant, although they stay really small. I've got some juga ground cover in there. I've got 3 barberries. Those were also clearance, $5 each a few years ago. And then the grass coming up is I forget the name. It's a blue one. Ooh, there's a sphinx moth enjoying the honeysuckle. Or not the honeysuckle, the bee balm. Oh, those moths are so cool. They're called hummingbird moths too because they have these super long, tongue, mouth, and they love the tubular flowers. And they're huge. That one's actually smaller than a lot of the ones I've seen, but they're so cool. I love bee balm. This one was also on clearance. I think it might be bubblegum blast or something like that. But it really has grown. It's probably 5 times as big as when I planted it. I've got some snapdragons that keep coming back here. And this is, forget the variety. It's Gaillardia. Arizona Sunset, I think. Or no, apricot. Something apricot, Gaillardia. It has fungal disease, so it stays pretty small. That's what those like yellow spots are on its leaves. But I don't know, it just keeps coming back, so I leave it. I planted some Nemesia annual, and those are Millennium Allium that are budding up. In the next few weeks they're going to open. I love alliums, they're some of my favorite flowers. I also have Caradonna salvia back there that I cut back. That finished its bloom. This is some kind of nepeta. I don't remember the variety. And then these are some of my favorite. I just planted the 2 smaller ones today. The bigger one is from last year. That's Drops of Jupiter ornamental oregano. It is so tough and it just blooms. These blooms will just keep going for a couple of months. They're awesome. And the bees just love them, all the pollinators. I've got some echinacea back there. The red ones were on clearance. They were marked as yellow, so I don't know what variety they are, possibly Kismet Red. But then the pink ones are ones that actually I grew from seed that I collected from the red ones. And they came out a different color. And then there's like kind of a watermelon corally colored bloom there. That self-seeded itself. I just kind of let the seedling grow. And it came out that. So I don't know, kind of a little neat little mix. I also have some firelight hydrangeas that are setting their blooms now, as you can see. Those are absolutely gorgeous. They'll start blooming white, and then it's the cool evening temperatures. When the temperature starts to drop at night, it triggers them to turn pink. And these get really bright raspberry pink and then turn kind of a deep burgundy in the fall. They're really beautiful, and I like to cut them for arrangements too in the fall. They're burgundy color. Those are, I don't remember the variety, it's some kind of heucherella. Heucherellas tend to be tougher for me than heucheras, although they can't take as much sun. And I just planted these 3. They were clearance plants. Alexander Brunnera, Alexander the Great, or Alexander something, Brunnera. They were like $4 a piece or something like that. I've got my little bench that I have to move here. Nepeta that I have to cut back, that's Walker's Low. The salvia I've cut back, that's back to the fuchsia. I've got the pink blooms back there is yarrow, another clearance one that wasn't labeled, so I'm not sure the variety. This is a willow, sage leaf willow, that white shrub. It's really thirsty though, we've had so much drought, so it's kind of barren, so I need to be better about watering it. I've got some Siberian iris back there. They might be butter and sugar, I'm not sure. They were again on clearance, mislabeled, but they are kind of a buttery light yellow color, more bee balm. That's a limelight hydrangea that I got on clearance for $10 a few years ago. It's pretty little. And then I have a bunch of random astilbe in the back. Most of them on clearance, some of them I had to move because they were in too much sun. There's a lady fern. That's another viburnum. It's either all that glitters or all that glows. I have the other one close by as a pollinator, although I don't think they get enough sun to bloom very much. This is a Sun King Aurelia. Its first full year in the garden was last year, and that's perennial. It dies, it's herbaceous, it dies to the ground every year and sprouts new from the ground. So 2 years, that's how big it gets. It's gonna get even bigger than that. I have some more astilbe. Those are either Deutschland or Rhineland. They bloom pink, but I can't recall which one is which. Another autumn frost hosta. And different kind of Brunner. I don't remember the variety. Not Jack Frost. It's a generic one. It's not branded. This is another heucherella. And then I have some berry smoothie heuchera along with a mystery heuchera that kind of looks the same behind it. You can see I was pounding in hose guides with the mallet today as I was planting. Around in this corner there are 3, I think it's plum cascade heucherella, the purple ones, and a raspberry splash lungwort. And then this is a little lime hydrangea that was clearance for $10. I think almost everything in this bed was clearance at the end of the season. And then this is, I want to say it's dancing or dancer. It's really bleached out. It gets too much sun. And then there's a clematis that's been struggling. That's attached to one little stem. But I'm hoping to get some more shade in here. I'm kind of working on this area, cutting out more grass. I'd like to plant a tall, really narrow evergreen, a juniper would be ideal. So I just last week this was all grass in here, so I cut that out and added the mulch, and you can see the blue tarp where I'm smothering the grass over by the vegetable garden. And that will be mulch, but eventually all of this grass will be gone. I want to take over all of this, but it's just what I have time and strength to do. And over on this side, we'll do a different vegetable garden tour another day. But you can see my dahlias are coming along nicely. That's a sun-credible sunflower. And I've got, blue boy, there's a yellow one. I don't remember the varieties I planted. But I just bought the tubers at our local garden center at Bachman's. I've got a zinnia that I'm seeding there. There's some dark-leaved zinnia, or dahlias, along with a persimmon supertunia in the pot. This is a Rosy Lights azalea. I just planted that this spring, or early summer, I suppose. I had a lilac there that just struggled for 2 years, so I took that out. We'll see how the azalea does. I've got some zinnias planted back there. That's the Holy Grail hibiscus is the name of the variety, Summerific Holy Grail, with the dark leaves. And there are some stargazer lilies kind of poking up. I just planted those last year, so they're not very big. I don't know, we'll see how they do. And then you can see the foliage, that light grassy foliage is some cosmos. A couple of them have bloomed, but they're a mix, white and pink, a dwarf mix. That little, sorry, there's my finger. That little shrub there is an aster. Got a daylily, little pink dealy bobs sticking up. Those are Carmine Gumfrina. That is one of my favorite varieties. I grew it for the first time last year from seed, and it's awesome. I've got a geranium and some rudbeckia in the pot there, some more dark dahlias. That is the luminary opalescent phlox, I believe. And then I've got a pot there in the middle. The Japanese beetles have found this potato vine. You can see they are just congregating and feasting. So I'll probably come out here with some soapy water and kill them all. But potato vines grow so fast, so I'm not too worried about it. I've got the yellow coreopsis. That was a clearance plant that wasn't marked. These are, what are they called? Pacific or something, the daylilies. It's like kind of a tropical name. Some dark embers sedum and an ornamental cabbage that I grew from seed. That's Anna's Magic Ball arborvitae. That one got really smushed by the snow and it's kind of been struggling, so I'm just kind of babying it now. I've got some echinacea blooming. You can see the orange butterfly weed, and then some, I think it's Cheyenne Sky, I forget the name of it. It's that grass there with the clematis in the background. Another little lime hydrangea. This is Noblessa yarrow, and that was a clearance sedum. It's a sun sparkler of some kind. Oops. That is Giles Von Hees Veronica, I want to say. Another dark ember sedum. Got those little blue flowers, so it's a delphinium. And then some snapdragons. You can see I have, I'll try and get in here. I have a Canna Pretoria, and then there is a Wicked Witch coleus, a Albrighto coleus, and what's that one called? It's a Proven Winners variety. I love that Proven Winners because they take so long to bloom, and they get huge, and they can take full sun. So to me, those are worth it. This is a peach drift rose that's now gone out of bloom. You can see a little bit left, but it'll bud up and bloom soon here. I've got garlic that I planted because I had so much extra garlic. So a few more weeks and I'll harvest that. And then this here is a dwarf, what's it called? Hidalgo. Forget the name of the plant. This is a Tor birchleaf spirea. I've got some Blue Boy bachelor's buttons kind of poking up through everything in there. That was a clearance hosta. It gets pretty much full sun and holds up pretty good. Wasn't marked. This is a Limelight Prime hydrangea that was on clearance for $10 last year. That was a score. And then this is a salvia. I want to say it's, oh, there's my shadow with my visor. I want to say it's Victory Blue. It's humongous. It always splits in the middle and then spreads out like this. I'm going to pull this out and split it, give some to a friend, possibly replant a chunk of it somewhere else, because it just blooms and blooms and blooms, which is nice for salvia. And then some more sweet tea heucherella here. So that is the backyard early July garden. There's my shadow again. Goldenrod, that's what that is, dwarf goldenrod. Again on clearance. And then I have a little lily back there. That one's After 8. It's called After 8 Lily, and it's supposed to be like a dwarf version of Stargazer, but it smells really good. And you can see again the little Gomphrena carmine sticking up there in the middle. I just kind of planted it everywhere this year. And then that red blooming shrub, that's a Weigela. I think it's Crimson Kisses is what it's called. Again, that was clearance a few years ago. It was like $5 or $10. Such a good deal. Yeah. So, it's all looking pretty good. Coming along. Not bad for how much drought we've had either. I'm excited to see things get big and mature, and the dahlias and zinnias and cosmos to come up, and I can start cutting from those as well. They're gorgeous.